okay? So we were talking about, Luis, the ed at the end of the regular past simple words, okay? The ed. The ed has three different sounds, Luis, okay? It has the sound of the T, where it's going to sound t, okay? It has the sound of the D, where it's going to sound d, d. And it has the sound of the ID, where it's going to sound like this, id, painted, for example, painted, okay? So we're going to be talking when. When do we know which sound to make? Okay, how do we know which sound to make at the end of the regular past simple words? Well, they have rules that we need to follow in order to have the correct pronunciation of the end of the word, okay? So let's go with the first part. The first part here is the sound of the ed, of the ID, I'm sorry, okay? So the ID has to be followed if the verb has a D, okay? A D or a T sound, okay? Notice that I said a D or a T sound, not the letter, but the sound of the letter, okay? So it has the sound of the D or the T sound at the end before the ED. We have to pronounce the end of the word as an ID, okay? As an ID. Luis, are you following? This is new material for you.
Okay.
Yes? Yes? Okay, so I want you to please try to write this down as I'm speaking, okay? So you can remember this, okay? So if the verb has the sound of a D or a T at the end of the word before the ED, for example, like here, before the ED, right? Here it has the sound of the T, okay? Because the word is paint, for example. Without the past tense, it's paint. It has the T sound, correct?
Correct.
So since it has the T sound, it's gonna sound like this, painted, painted. It's gonna sound like the ID, you see, painted, okay? Painted. Very good. So now let's do another example. That was the example of a T, right? The T at the end, okay? So now let's say that it has the D at the end. The D at the end, like this, end, right? End would be the present tense verb, the present tense word, right? So here, how are we going to pronounce it? Ended, ended, right? Ended, like the ID, ended, right? We're going to be writing it like this, okay? But we're going to be pronouncing it like this, okay? So repeat with me. Repeat with me. If the word has the sound of which two letters? What did I say? The what? The D and the T. D and T. D and T, right? Then the word is going to be pronounced with an id, which is the ID, right? Id, ID. So now that we know that, let's practice some of the words, okay? So repeat after me. I will say the word and you will say it after me, okay? Wanted.
Wanted.
Ended.
Ended.
Luis, please repeat with me also. Decided.
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 Admitted.
Admitted.
Suggested.
Suggested.
Recommended.
Recommended.
Very good. Hated.
Hated.
Intended.
Intended.
And last, started.
Started.
Okay, so very good. Very good. Okay, so
One question.
remember, this is the, yes, question, Luis.
¿Solamente se pronuncia la I did o también se va a escribir la I did?
No. Like I was saying, you're only going to make the sound of the ID, but you're going to be writing the word, The regular words, you're gonna be writing it with the ed. Okay. So
Okay.
remember, all regular past simple verbs, all of them that are regular, we're gonna be writing them with the ed at the end. We're just gonna be pronouncing them differently. Okay. So in this case, all of the ones, like I said, that have the sound of the D and the T at the end of the word will be pronounced with the ID, okay? Pronounced, okay?
Okay.
So as you can see here, wanted is written like this. This is the correct way of writing wanted, okay? But it's pronounced like this, okay? Wanted.
Okay.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
so now let's refresh here some of the ideas we were talking about, okay? Let's notice what is the end of the last letter of the word T here, D here, D here, okay? Well, in this case, for example, it's this letter, okay? This is the last letter, but it's silent. So since it's silent, the last sound of the letter is D, for example. So that's why we say decided, okay? Because you say the last letter is E. What's going on? The last letter is E. It doesn't have a D, it doesn't have a T. Yes, but the last letter is E and it's silent. So since it's silent and we're going by sound of the letter, then the D applies, right? Since the D applies, we pronounce it like this, decided, correct? Here, the last letter is what? T. The last letter here is T also. D. T here. Here's the same thing, right? The E is silent, and the last sound that we hear is the T, correct? So that's why we pronounce it hated. Okay? Intended. So remember, T and D sounds for the ID. Okay? Now let's move on to the second part. This one has a little bit more letters, okay, that we have to remember. So it's very good that you write them down. Okay? It's very important that you write them down. Okay, so for this one, we're going to be pronouncing the last sound of the word with a T sound, like this. Can you repeat with me? Try it. Luis, Caterina, please try this.
Third.
Right? Now like this. Try to imitate my sound. Okay, so we're putting the tongue at the top of your mouth, okay? There you go. That is the T sound. That is the T sound, okay? So that's the end of the word. That's how it's going to sound. Now we have to know when is it going to sound like this, okay? So if the word before the ED ends with the sounds again, we're going with sounds, okay? Now we have letters here that I want you to write down. The P, the F, the S, the CH, the SH, and the K, okay? Those letters are gonna indicate the sound of the T at the end of the regular past simple word, okay? And like I was saying before, Luis, we will always write it with the ED. We're just gonna pronounce the word with the T sound, okay? Okay, so please write this down. Please take notes because for now, this lesson is new for you guys, okay? This lesson is new. So you must write this down so that you can practice it and remember it later. I will send homework for you to practice later, okay? So please write that down. The sounds of the P, the F, the S, the CH, the SH, the K, the ED is pronounced with a T. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so now let's practice it. What do we have here? We have here a double P, okay? So here's the P. So this one is going to be pronounced stopped, okay? Stop. Stop, right? That has that we were practicing at the beginning, right? Stop, right? Good. Okay, now here's something different here because we say, okay, but why is there an F if there's no F in the word? Let's zoom in here. There's no F in the word. No, there isn't an F in a word, but the GH, when they are together, almost always, they will sound like an F, okay? It's gonna make the F sound. And remember, we're going by sound, not by letter, we're going by sound, correct?
Yes.
Since we're going by sound and this GH together make the F sound, we're gonna pronounce this word like this, laugh.
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 Laughed.
Huh?
Laughed.
But that's laugh. That's right. That's better, Luis. Try it again. Laugh.
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 Laughed.
Very good. Laugh. Okay.
Laughed.
We have to make that at the end, right? So here, imagine that this is an F, correct? So we go laugh. Laugh.
Laughed.
There you go. Laugh. Okay. Very good. So now here, what do we have? The end of the sound, and the end letter before the ED is the S. Promise. Promise. Right? So now let's put the past tense into it. Promised.
Promised.
Promised. Promised. Very good. Promised. Good. Now we have the CH sound. How does the CH sound? Like this. Let's try this sound first. Okay.
Watched.
And then, exactly, very good. So now then here we have the T sound, right? So let's try it. Let's do it slowly. Watched.
Watched.
Watched. Watched.
Watched.
Watched. Good. Okay, Katerina, can you try it for me? Watched. Watched. Okay. Let's continue. The SH here. How does the SH sound? Remember what I told you in other previous classes. The SH sounds like you're trying to make somebody be quiet, correct? We're going, right? The SH. Luis, can you try it?
Finished. Finished.
But try the SH first.
Finished. Or finished.
But try this sound first. Listen to me. Try this sound first. This, the SH. Try that. Can you try it?
Sería finished.
Finished. Okay, so now
Finished.
you're putting, but I want you to make this sound. Okay, make this sound right here. Don't say the word. Make this sound first. Make that sound.
Finished.
Repeat it for me. There you go. Finished. Okay.
Finished.
Good.
Okay.
Finished. Very good. Now we have the K. The K is also the sound that's going to be at the end with the T. Remember, because we have a K here. Let's go back to the beginning. And this is our last letter. Our last letter for the rules of the T sound. Okay. And there's a lot of words in the past simple regular verbs that end with a K. Okay. So every time that you see a K, most of the time, almost always, the K is going to sound. So the present tense of this word is what? Walk. Right?
Walk.
Making that sound. Right?
Walked.
So since we hear that, right, that K, this is going to sound like a T here at the end. Okay? Walked.
Walked.
Walked. Very good. Walked.
Walked.
Walked. Very good. Okay, and that's it. That's it for the T sound. Okay, so now we have our final sound. Our final sound is much simpler. We don't have to remember as much because all we need to do is remember the rules of the ID, where it has the sound of the T and the D, and then remember the sound of the T. Okay, sound of the T. Now we go into the sound of the D, right? And how does the sound of the D sound? It sounds like this: duh. 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 Can you repeat it with me, Luis? The. Right? The. Okay, so what do we follow? What are the rules for the D sound? The rules for the D sound are very simple. Any other consonant or vowel, okay, that is not in the list of the T sound and is not in the list of the ID sound is going to be pronounced like a D, okay? So let's do a little review here, okay? So we have the W. The W is not in the list of the other two, right? We have the I, which is not in the list of the other two. The Y, the N. None of these vowels and consonants are in the list of the other two, right? So since they're not in the list, any other letter, okay, any other letter that is not in the other two categories, the words will be pronounced with a D at the end, okay? So let's try it. Allowed. Allowed. Can you repeat, please? Allowed. Allowed. Very good.
Allowed.
Cried.
Cried.
Cried. Very good. Enjoyed.
Enjoyed.
Cleaned.
Cleaned.
Imagined.
Imagined.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So write this down. Just so you know, for all other words, the ED is pronounced like a D, okay? So like I said, any vowel or consonant that is not in the list of the previous ones that we just practiced will be pronounced with a D at the end, okay? The. Okay, so take notes. Please write that down so you can remember. Okay, do you have any questions? Questions, Luis or Caterina? No questions?
No.
No questions? Okay, so now we're gonna practice this, okay, in a little game. Let's see how much you retain of this lesson, okay? We're just practicing. We will be practicing later for doing some homework, okay? So let's do it. Let's put it into practice now. Okay, and I will help you, okay? So Luis, take the first one. The first one says visited, okay? Visited, and it has the T at the end. It has the visit, right? Because the regular word is visit. If we put it into the past tense, it's visited. So where do I put it? Do I put it in the T, the D, or the ID?
D. Visited.
You put in that, but remember it has the sound and the letter T. And like I said, if it has the letter or the sound, the sound of the D or the sound of the T, where do we put it? We put it here, okay? Visited in the ID.
Okay.
That's right. That's right. What about the letter, what about the word, sorry? What about the word stay, stayed? Where do we put it? Caterina.
Stay.
Stayed.
D.
And the D, very good. The D, yeah, excellent. Okay, what about this word painted, Luis? Painted. It has the T at the end, like I said before. Painted. Where do I put it? In the ID, right? Because look, you see the visited, painted. Okay, so remember, if it has the sound of the D letter and the T letter, we're gonna pronounce it as an ID. Correct. Visited, painted. Okay. Now let's go with this one. Needed. Needed. It has a D at the end. Where do I put it, Caterina?
Needed. D.
In the ID. What did I say? Please listen to me. If the letter is a D or if the letter is a T sound, we are gonna put it in the ID. Okay. So repeat after me. Repeat after me. If the letter has a D sound, sound
down,
or a T sound,
or
it's
a
going to
T.
be pronounced as an ID. Okay, so now let's repeat the words that we have here in the category. Visited,
Visited,
painted,
painted,
needed.
need,
Okay, very good. And what are we noticing here? It has a T sound here, visit. It has a T sound here, paint. It has a D sound here, need. And the past tense is going to be what? Visited, painted, needed. Okay? Okay, so now, what about the word jumped? Jumped. It has a P at the end.
Jumped.
Where do I put
Jumped.
it, Luis? Jumped.
T, jumped.
Has T, that's right. T, right? It has that T at the end that we were practicing, right? Jumped. What about called? Called.
Called.
Where do I put it?
Called.
Called. Yes.
T.
Which category do I? The D, right? Why do I put it in the D? Because it has an L, right? And it doesn't follow the rules of the other two. Okay? So the last letter in this word will be call, and the past tense we will pronounce it with a D sound at the end. Called. Called. Okay? What about this one? Planned. It has an N. Planned. Katerina. Planned.
Planned.
The D, right? Planned. Planned, right? Because it has an N, a double N at the end. Planned. We put it in the past tense, correct? Planned. Donated. Donated. Notice that has a T at the end. Where do I put it? Donated. Donated. Where do I put it?
ID?
An ID, yes. ID, yes. Donated. Very good, Luis. What about started? Started. Where do I put it?
Started?
Yes. Where do I put started?
ID.
Started. ID, yes. Okay, now we're getting it. Good. Okay. Now here, seemed, right? Seemed. Duh. It has an M. Okay. Seemed. Where do I? In the D, right? Seemed. Okay, now here another one with the end of T, right? Wanted. Wanted. Where do I put it?
Wanted. It ID.
ID, right? Wanted. That's right. Very good. Okay. Now played. Played. Where do I put it?
like,
In the what? The D sound. Why? Because it has a Y at the end. Played.
Played.
Played. It kind of sounds like an I, right? It sounds like an I, but remember the I is a vowel that is not in the category of the rules of the ID or the T sound. So since it's not in the category of the T sound or the ID, it's going to be pronounced like a D, okay? For all other consonants and vowels, it's going to be pronounced as a D, okay? It's a little confusing at the beginning, and this is one of our first lessons with this. But you will, with practice, you will be improving with this, okay? It's just practice, all right? So loved, loved has what? An E at the end, but it has a V, right? A V sound. So since it has a V sound and it doesn't follow the rules of the T sound or the ID, where do we put it? Loved. The D, right? Loved. All right, so now help me with this one. It has a P. A P. So let's pronounce the word in the present tense. Stop. Stop, right? And now we just put in the past tense. Stop. Stop. Where do I put it?
Stop.
Stop. Which category do I put it? In the T sound, in the ID, in the T
Stop.
sound, Luis. Very good. Stop. Yes. Stop. Right at the end. Good. What about looked? Looked.
T.
Look.
T sound. Yes. No. See, that's the mistake that we don't want to make, Luis. We don't want to say look it because it doesn't sound. It's yes. It sounds like a T. Remember, a K a K at the end of the word sound, look, it's going to make this sound in the past tense of the T. Look. Look. Yeah, there you go. Like this one, right? It also has a K, right? This one has a K as well. Asked. Correct? Asked. Yes. Asked. Good. Now here it has an N. It has an N. It doesn't follow the rules of the other two. Opened. Where do we put it? Opened.
Open.
Opened. 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 The D. Yeah, the D category. Very good. Decided. Okay. It has that sound, right? Yes, it has that sound of the ID, right? Because it ends with an E, but the E is silent. So we pronounce the D and it's pronounced decided. Correct. What about help? Help. No, but listen, it has a P, right? So let's look at some examples here. There's a P here. There's a P here. Correct? It follows the rules. So we have to make that sound at the end, Luis. The T sound, right? Helped. Yes, help. Good. This one has a CH. Remember, we were practicing the right? And it also follows the rules of the T. Yes, watched. Yes. Watched, because that's how we pronounce it, right? We don't say watch it because watch it doesn't exist. We pronounce it with a T at the end, right? We say watched. Okay? I watched a film last night. Okay? Here has the sound of the V, arrived. Very good. Arrived with the D sound, correct? Arrived. Here, remember this sound that we were practicing before in the explanation, right? The SH, right? The like you're trying to make somebody be quiet, right? Finished. Yes. Where do I put finish? Help me. Where do I put it? Yes, in the T. That's correct. In the T. Okay, good. What about this word? So the present tense of this word is pick. Right? And now let's put it in the past tense. Picked. Where do I put this word? Yes, help me. Where do I put it? Picked. In the T. Yes. Picked. That's right. T. What about this one? Work. Past tense would be worked. Where do I put it? In the T. The T. Very good. What about enjoy? Would be the present tense. Enjoyed. Where do I put it?
D.
The D. Yes, that's correct. The D. Very good. And last word, climb. Right? Climb. The B. You see the present tense of this word is climb, right? The B is the last letter, but it's silent. We actually say climb, right? Climb with the M sound. Not the ID, almost. No, not the ID, because it has a B and an M sound, Luis. And it doesn't follow the rules of the T, remember? It doesn't follow the rules of the T, sorry, and it doesn't follow the rules of the ID. It follows the rules of the D. Because remember, for all other consonants and vowels that are not in this category or this category, we're going to make the sound of the D, right? Climbed, right here. Okay? Yes. Okay, so for our last exercise now, for last practice is, we're going to pronounce the T's here. So repeat after me. Jumped. Stopped. Looked. asked,
asked,
helped,
helped,
watched,
watched,
finished,
finished,
picked,
picked,
worked.
worked.
Very good. Okay. Now let's go with the sound of the D. Remember the D sound. D, D. Stayed,
Stayed,
called,
called,
planned.
planned,
Again, try this one again. Planned.
planned,
Good. Themed,
theme,
themed. Good. Played,
played,
loved,
loved,
opened,
opened,
arrived,
arrived,
enjoyed,
enjoyed,
climbed.
climbed,
Good. Okay, so now let's practice our last sound, the ID sound, right? Visited,
visited,
painted,
painted,
needed,
needed,
donated,
donated,
started,
started,
wanted,
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 decided.
decided.
Okay, good. Okay,